Hey, everybody.
Hi. Hi, guys.
I'm Dean. I'm the dad.
I'm Laura. I'm the mom. And I'm Krysta Lynn. I'm the daughter.
And together we are
Family Plot.
And we're here with another amazing episode for you. We're revisiting one of our most popular topics, the Fae. And during this revisit, we will not completely ignore everything we did on our first show. We're just sort of going to use it as a launching point and go from there.
Well, it has been a minute. And before I got here.
Yes, it's definitely before you got
here. But not part of the show.
Right, I think you were actually in the room while we recorded it.
It's entirely possible. I tend to lurk.
Yeah.
So, now last time we kind of opened up to Fae of the World, and we did a lot of Native American Fae, and we sort of gave European Fae a short shrift. So this time we're going to focus mostly on them.
Okay.
All right.
Well, never mind.
Huh?
Well, I was going to make a joke about European, but I didn't think that would be in good taste.
Yeah, it's like, the joke about Liberace having used the bathroom so often.
Yes, exactly. Right along those lines. Yes.
Because he's the pianist.
Right.
Anyway, it's called a pun, Krysta. Your mom loves them.
I do, but I managed to avoid them because I was trying to spare our daughter the abject humiliation of it, and you just stepped right all over that.
Well, considering, how often that, I get picked on by you two, I'm allowed to pick back a little.
Honey, you know where we learned that from? It's called All You, baby!
Oh my goodness gracious, listen to her go.
Where do you never talk like this unless we record?
Actually, she's been talking like that all day.
Yeah, I have. I've been talking like that for the past week.
So, I feel like it's always a good omen to start with a particular Scottish poem, and while I will not read the entire thing, because I did last time, I feel like it's a good place to start.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Poetry-us, my love.
Up the airy mountain, down the rushy glen, we daren't go a-hunting, for fear of little men. Wee folk, good folk, trooping all together, green jacket, red cap, and white owl's feather. Now, those of you who are older than, say, 25, might recognize the first 4 lines of that as being in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, yes.
The original one, the good one with Gene Wilder.
That's just the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we got into some discussions the last time regarding red caps and that kind of lore.
Yeah, in fact, you were here for that episode, because I remember I had to edit you out.
Oh, well, thanks.
If I'd known you were going to become a part of the cast, I wouldn't have, but...
See, I told you I lurked.
Yes.
Sometimes not very well.
Yes, you lurked, because we were talking about the red caps, and you asked a question, like, full on in the middle of the episode.
Yes, I apologize for that.
But now you can ask it, so...
Okay, but you already answered the question, so asking it now seems redundant and unimportant in the grand scheme of things.
We ask different questions in this podcast, not the same ones over and over. That's how we don't get boring.
No, see, the last one officially didn't get asked because he edited me out.
Okay. Good.
Okay, if I really should ask the same question, when red caps were being discussed on the first show, which I was officially not a part of, the question that I asked was, some people who are in their 30s and 40s may remember a Stephen King movie, Cat's Eye. And in that movie, a portion of that movie stars a very young Drew Barrymore as a little girl, and she has this cat, and she's calling to the cat throughout the movie. At the end of the movie, the cat comes to her and protects her from a little monster. And what I was asking was if that was depicting a red cap. And I think we decided no.
Yeah, it doesn't have any of the red cap's characteristics.
Right.
So, now, let's start our visit to the Fae with a visit to the Corrigan. Now, the Corrigan is, to some extent, the Breton, not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Breton, Brighton. I always thought it was pronounced Brighton, but that doesn't look like it that way. Anyway, version of the Banshee. She was equated with the Gwragedd Annwn, the Welsh fairies of the lakes and streams. So, Corrigan tends to live in rivers and lakes and streams. If you did not, leave some sort of offering for Corrigan when you went to get water out of a stream, bad things could happen to you, and sometimes did.
But like fairies, if you don't offer them anything when you're trying to let them out, they'll be mad at you.
Well, she is a fairy, so yes, very like that.
Okay. Well, I just remembered us talking about that last time.
Yes.
See, she pays attention.
Well, of course she does. That's why she's a member of the podcast.
She's a good girl.
She's a good kid. Now, the Corrigan, in addition, a lot of people say Corrigan is fairly similar to the Lady of the Lake from the Arthurian legends.
That was where my mind went when you brought that up, so that makes sense.
And so many people think that she may be a Corrigan, which would not be too surprising because the Fae are not unknown in Arthur. In fact, there is an elfin girl named Nimue, a nymph that takes care of Merlin.
Right.
That's the Corrigan, and they tend to be loners, solitary fairies. And there are solitary fairies and then trooping fairies that tend to hang out together. And we'll discuss both.
So like introverts and extroverts.
Well, there you go. Look at you using the big words. I'm so proud.
I would say kind of, but not exactly, because they're not solitary necessarily because they don't like contact with others, but rather they're territorial.
Right.
This is my area, and I don't want you anywhere near it, kind of thing.
Back off, man.
So kind of like that, but they're like only in their own group of people.
That, or I suspect a fairy could go to their lake or their river and get whatever they wanted, and it wouldn't bother them. Just they don't tend to hang out and chat.
Right.
They're like I said, they're territorial. This is my area. That's why when humans come in and steal their water, they get mad unless they're left an appropriate gift. Now, something else I guess I should point out is we will be talking about a lot of this in-world style, meaning like...
So, I gotta stop you there for a minute. What is an appropriate gift for a water fairy?
Exactly.
Because initially I'm thinking like cup or pail. But then when I think about that, I'm like, no, because that would really be a prison for water. And then if you think like food, so you think about bread or rice, well, those are also kind of a prison for water because they absorb them. And anything sparkly is just gonna like sit on them, which is still kind of... So what is an appropriate gift for a water fairy, do you think? Because I'm a little confused.
Well, most Fae like certain things. Food is always appreciated. So bread and salt is fairly common. Although there are certain Fae that don't do well with salt, so don't leave it for them. But the Corrigan isn't one of those. So bread and salt would be good. Clothes, they like clothes.
Clothes.
They like clothes. And it's weird because in the few stories where a human gives them clothes, they put it on and you can't tell they're wearing it. So I don't know, but whatever.
I mean, hey, at least they're wearing it for you.
So clothes are another thing. Household items. Like, for example, if you want Fae to help you around the house, if you want their kindness, their blessing, you have to make them a house.
Okay.
So, like, for the longest time, I had half a pumpkin in my backyard. I cut off the bottom. I just had the top 3/4 of it. And I threw in a few toy chairs and whatnot to make it into a home and set it in the dirt by the backyard, and that was my fairy house. And
I see.
And I would put food in it, or every so often, and or a little bit of water in it every so often, to encourage the blessing of the Fae, because that's what you do.
I see.
Maybe I should start doing stuff like that.
Sure, why not?
Can't hurt.
Maybe I will get the fairy's blessing.
But
well, that's interesting to know. I didn't know you were asking for fairy blessings.
I am.
In the past. I can't say that I've ever seen you ask for fairy blessings at any house we've lived in together, but that's cool too.
Well, mostly because either A, we haven't had the money and we've had to put it towards the kids.
Oh.
Or B, it would have involved explaining it, and you are you have pretty deep roots in Christianity, and I didn't want to offend you. And maybe I couldn't have, but I didn't even want to take the chance.
I see. Okay. Alrighty then. On to the next topic.
Well, weirdly, the next topic is Krysta's topic.
My topic.
You know why that is. It's not because it's really necessarily time for Krysta's facts. It's really because your dad can't stand to wait any longer for the surprise.
No, because if you look in the show notes, it goes intro open, which we've done, poem, approach the topic, which we've done, and the Corrigan, which we've done. And then the very next thing, Krysta's weird facts.
Know what? Mom, I know that you just want to say that so badly, because, I think so too, but every single episode it's gone like this.
I know,
so
I'm just being ornery.
I'm just saying, I'm following the show notes. Maybe if you two had your show notes up, you'd know what comes next.
Know what? Maybe I have my facts open and ready to go before I have your notes open to look at. Maybe I have so many tabs on my phone that I don't want to open them all.
Calm yourself, Crystalline.
So,
Angie,
without further ado, Krysta. Here we go.
All right. So today my facts are about fairy tales.
Wow. All right. Shoot. Newt, you're fading. Something my dad always said.
Okay.
Well then, okay. Number 1. The French version of Rapunzel does not have a happy ever after, so, Rapunzel turns into a frog, and the prince gets cursed with a pig snout.
The French and the Italians fairy tales tend to be a bit bloodier than the ones we're used to.
Alrighty, fact number 2.
Fact number 2. The older versions of Jack and the Beanstalk are called Jack and the Giant Killer because the story originally didn't have a beanstalk at all.
Nice.
I know that because, not sure which book it's in, probably Giants, the Jack story doesn't have a beanstalk.
Very nice.
Okay, fact number 3. The name Maleficent comes from the Latin word maleficenta, I think that's it, which means evil doing.
Very nice.